This is the Collecting Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Stephen Purse, here with your co-host, Bill Hamill.
I'm somewhat more comfortable collecting real estate than I am collecting other stuff.
Welcome to Collecting Real Estate. This is a podcast where we discuss the collections that real estate investors have built and dive into the stories, habits, and decisions that got them to where they are. My name is Stephen Purse, and I'm here with my co-host, Bill Hamill.
Good morning, Stephen. Thank you very much. I'm excited tonight with a few new guys to the business.
Yeah, happy to have Ethan and Harrison here.
Thank you for having us, guys.
So let's get into a little bit about your background and your real estate story up until today.
Okay, I'll go ahead and go first. So my background, I'll start off in high school. So in high school, I was a terrible student. I wasn't doing my work. I wasn't doing my classwork, my homework. The only way I passed my classes was by taking the tests. I was just partying too much, just messing around, and got to my junior year, and everybody started applying for colleges. And I'm from North Carolina, so they started applying for Duke, UNC Chapel Hill, NC State, Clemson, all these big colleges. And I was sitting on the sidelines like, man, I'm probably going to have to go to community college. And, obviously community college is fine, but that's just not what I wanted. And that's not, people saw me as kind of not the dumb kid, but the lazy person, the person that didn't try hard. And so I didn't want that to be me anymore, to be my identity. So that's kind of when I had the mindset shift. Going into senior year, I kind of went all out in high school. It allowed me to get into a 4-year university, UNCW, which is where I met Harris. Once I got in there, I continued those habits of working hard. I got straight A's my freshman year. And it kind of just showed me, like, when you put your mind to something, you can really do it. If you put in the effort, if you put in the time, you can absolutely do it. And then towards the end of my freshman year in college, I got into wholesaling. And we got let off from the COVID-19, so it sent everybody home. So took that time just to start going really, really hard, cold calling, researching, educating, and then about 5 months later, Harris joined me and my partner, and we did wholesaling for another about a year almost. So total about a year and a half, and then switched over to multifamily about 3 or 4 months ago, and here we are.
Yeah, it's been a crazy journey so far. I'd say for me, really the whole entire journey started my freshman year of college as well. So similar to Ethan, I'm 20, he's 19. But at the time, I had come back from school for my freshman year summer. I was running a shoe store, actually. I was selling like Yeezys and Jordans, stuff I would find on Facebook, and I would find them used, clean them up, and then turn around and flip them. And one day I just got a call from Ethan, and he was like telling me all about what him and our old partner Ben were doing in wholesaling. And I had always been an entrepreneur. I literally had like 4 businesses in high school. None of them had worked out, but I had learned a lot. And anyway, when I heard about the kind of spreads that you could make in wholesaling, I pretty much dropped my shoe store immediately and joined their team and took on a pretty big role in the operations and sales side, and started for the first time, most importantly, to learn the mindset side of things. And that's so important in this industry. I started going to events, really pushing myself outside my comfort zone, and honestly, just really growing myself all around as a person. And that's when I started to learn the importance of setting goals, similar to how Ethan was saying, when he went to college, learning how to set a goal and reach it, and also set goals that were bigger than life. You know what I mean? Setting goals that are larger than we ever thought we would be able to accomplish. A year into wholesaling, Ethan and I decided that our end goal was much bigger than anything we could accomplish in single family. So we dropped everything and went straight into apartment investing. And honestly, we haven't looked back. So here we are today.
No, you guys seem to make a great partnership. Let me ask you, right in that beginning stage, going from that high school mindset, if you will, to, a college mindset or that growth mindset, who inspired who?
I would say for me, Ethan was a huge inspiration. He was kind of, when I saw what him and our old partner Ben were doing with wholesaling, I had known about real estate, but I didn't ever think it was possible. So Ethan really inspired me. And then who inspired you? I've never actually asked you this question.
Well, man, I think it was all the doubters that, and well, specifically from high school to college is what you're asking, Bill. I think it was all the people that viewed me as a lazy person that didn't apply himself. And so I wouldn't say it was somebody that inspired me, but I would say it was somebody that doubted me. And it wasn't one person, it was a lot of people because I had made that name for myself. That was my doing. And so I had to climb out of that. So from going from high school to college, it was definitely everybody that thought I was just lazy and didn't apply myself.
I know you.
I was gonna say, I think we both kind of had that chip on our shoulder a little bit, just because in high school, very similar to Ethan, for me, a lot of people thought I was like dumb, and I don't know why, but I was like always trying to do something in business, like always trying to start like some type of like entrepreneurial like journey or something like that. And nobody really believed in me. And this was like working with Ethan was like the first other person in my life that like really like I saw put their head down and had that grind. And that was a big eye opener. So that chip on our shoulder, I think, helped a lot.
I got a couple of things here. I see a huge connection with people that flip sneakers and like to get into real estate after. For some reason, in my circle of friends, it seems to be a common theme. I think it's a mindset thing. I love to get down to Wilmington too. I've heard amazing things about that area. So today, are you guys wholesaling, or are you kind of following those same systems that you built and trying to buy and hold? What's your day-to-day operation like today?
So about 3 to 4 months ago, we completely stopped marketing for wholesaling. So we weren't sending out any more texts, any more cold calls, any more RVMs. We stopped marketing and we said, hey, if we want to do something, we want to be the best at what we do. So we didn't want to split time or really spend most of our time on wholesaling and do multifamily a little bit. We wanted to spend most of, if not all of our time on multifamily. So we stopped marketing, we closed our last few deals, and then we went full time into multifamily. Harris is now, taking the role of acquisitions. So he's talking to brokers, he's underwriting deals, he's making connections to make deals work. And I'm on the branding and capital raise side. So, doing our podcast, posting content, talking with other people in the industry, talking with investors. And so we kind of have the role split up like that.
Are you staying in your local market, or are you looking all around the country?
So since we're full time, we're not looking all around the country, but we're looking mostly in the Southeast. We really like the Southeast just because of the demographics, the growth, all of that. I mean, it's just a really good market in general. So we're looking at all of the Southeast, but I'm doing acquisitions, so I'm trying to piece deals together. And I actually work with, me and Ethan, we both work with a bunch of like different funds and like pension funds, hedge funds, and they're looking all across the country. So I'm taking on anything I can, trying to connect dots if I can, but specifically for us, just here in the Southeast.
Awesome. What size of assets are you guys going for? Or what is your criteria?
Yeah, I love this question. This is what these brokers love asking me. I would say mostly we're looking for 75 units and up. So something maybe 4 or 5 million plus, that has enough room to where we could bring in a quality partner. For us specifically, something with some value add, a B or a C class asset that has decent returns. I mean, 8 to 10% cash on cash. But like I mentioned, we do work with all these funds and these institutions, and they're looking for, A class assets, B class assets, C class, D class. I mean, literally everything. I mean, how institutions are. So our criteria has been broadened a lot because of those connections. but everybody right now is looking for value add. I mean, that's like the shiny object in real estate investing, at least what it seems like right now.
How are you
Yeah.
planning on structuring these? Is it gonna be a syndication model?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the larger assets definitely gonna be a syndication, and I think Harris touched on this, but the reason that we're going big is because we feel like we have the network to bring a deal to a partner and get into a deal that way. Like off our first deal, we don't even want to make a ton of money. Like we are not expecting that at all. We just want to bring it to a quality partner that we can learn from and provide value by providing the deal, and then get into a big deal that way. And then once that deal's on our track record with that partner, we'll be able to, talk to brokers a lot more confidently, and they'll know us because we can say, hey, we did this deal with this person. And that way we can start churning out more deals and get the deal flow up.
No, that's awesome. And the institutional lenders, did you go to college to educate yourself with that, or what is your action plan to get to that level of even contacting those types of lenders?
I'll start with that first, and then I'll let Harris take it after me. So we actually started getting in contact with these large institutions and hedge funds back when we did wholesaling.
Mhm.
So when we came across these wholesale deals, obviously the typical wholesale deal is to a fix and flipper, right? So it's something built before 2000 or before 1990 that hasn't been updated, that's not in good condition, and those are great assets to flip to a fix and flipper. However, we would come across these other deals that were 2000s plus, and they didn't need a lot of updating, right? Because they were so new. But a fix and flipper still has to get that at such a deep discount that it doesn't really make sense for the homeowner, the seller, to sell it. Like, we just have to get it at such a big discount, right? So we started getting in contact with these institutions that would pay like 90%, 95% retail for these assets that were built after 2000, and we would wholesale, we would assign the contract to these hedge funds, and they would pay ridiculous prices. So when Harris started underwriting for multifamily, we see these returns, and we're like, okay, well, these returns don't make sense for us because our investors want X amount on their money. However, operationally, this may make sense, but the purchase price is going to be so high that the returns aren't going to be there for us. So what if we can use the same strategy that we use in wholesaling to connect these deals to these large companies that don't expect an 8 to 10% return? They want a 5, a 6, a 7% return. And I'll let Harris kind of add on that.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of hit it right on the head. In wholesaling, we met this guy named Liam that's in Greensboro. We're here in North Carolina, and anyway, he opened our eyes to the fact that he was selling wholesale properties for almost full retail value, and we were like, how the heck is that even possible? And I was doing the dispositions at the time, so he kind of opened my eyes to institutions, and I just went on PropStream, which was a popular service, and started basically looking up who the biggest buyers were in the area. I mean, who was buying 1,000 plus properties and holding them, and calling up their acquisitions people. You could look them up on LinkedIn, look up the company attached with an acquisitions guy, and then reach out to that person. And they're looking for deals. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like they're hard to find. I mean, they can be kind of hard to find. It's hard finding the company, but once you find the company, they're looking for the deals. So it's just getting on the phone with them.
Yeah, the
And
person we were wholesaling to, they were buying 200 houses a quarter. So they were doing a
no,
lot of scale. Was it more than that?
they were buying 500 houses a month,
Oh
looking
my
to
gosh.
scale to 800 houses a month. And the guy on the phone was so nonchalant when he said it to me. He was like, yeah, we're trying to get up to like 800 to 1,000 a month. And I was like, oh yeah, like why not 2,000, man? Like, come on, man. So it was funny.
Oh man.
But they've opened up the doors to a lot of stuff for us, just being able to pass along deals. If it doesn't work for us, it doesn't mean it's a bad deal. It just means it doesn't work for us. We got to have very strict criteria for our investors.
Yeah, absolutely. There's different criteria for every property, different people and their journeys. I have a much different criteria now than I did, 10 years ago, or let alone 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually struggled with that. We started off, we thought we were gonna go direct to seller and just focus on that, 10 to 50 units. But we changed that a couple months ago. We were like, man, we have the network to go big. We want to go big, and it's tough, right? Because there's just so much money in the market right now. It's tough to find a good deal. But we feel like if we can, create that network and get really, really good at underwriting right now, when that shift comes, we'll be ready to hop on these things.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by everything you guys have done, such an early stage in your careers and the ambition you have. Have you ever received any pushback based on your age? Has anyone ever met you for the first time and kind of reacted in a certain way?
Harris, have you had anybody that was like negative?
Um, I think a lot of people when they initially that aren't in the industry, when they initially
Yeah.
hear that we're doing real estate, they're like, "Oh, that's cool. Why'd you drop out of college for it?" You know what I mean? And it's like, well, it actually works, But
Oh,
um,
okay. So this is the difference. People in the industry understand. People that are not in the industry don't understand.
they
And
don't have the
it's like kind of
mindset.
that classic, like, don't take advice from somebody that you wouldn't trade places with.
Yeah.
When we go to a meetup and we start talking to people, like they know that we educate ourselves, that we've hustled to get in the rooms that we've gotten in. So we don't have any sort of energy or bad energy from those people. But I was hanging out with some friends a couple weeks ago, and I met this girl, and my buddy's friend Jason was like, "Hey, this is my buddy Kerwin and Ethan," and she was like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" I said, "Oh, we're doing real estate." Right. And she said, okay, so you guys aren't going to school. I said, no, we dropped out to do real estate. And she like looked at Jason and she said, Jason, you need to get better friends. And I'm like,
Oh
it was
man.
crazy. It was just like a weird moment. It was like, this girl knows nothing about me. And she's saying that I'm a bad person because I dropped out. And it's like, I really do not care what she thinks because I wouldn't trade places with her. But I talked to somebody like you guys or somebody like Gino or Bill Ham, and they're like, you guys are doing awesome. Like, you guys are on a right path. If this is what you want to do, go for it. Like, not everybody needs college.
That's
I
such a
know
good
that
example. I
blows
didn't know
my
how to I
mind.
didn't know how to word the question right, but that spells it out perfectly.
Absolutely. I'm just like, oh no, I dropped out of college to buy real estate also. I must have been a loser.
Yeah, it was a weird moment. I was taken back when she said that.
Getting back to those partners, do you plan on using them on as debt partners or equity partners or a combination of the two? Depends on the deal.
You talking about like a partner like a Jake and Gino or somebody we bring in on the deal or like an institutional
You
partner?
meant institutional. You mentioned that. I wasn't expecting that. It was great, seeing that you guys are going so big so quickly. I love that. And then seeing that, part of your action plan is this institutional style lender or partner. How do you see that?
It's more so of like a brokering, and the reason why we do this way is because in wholesaling we started passing along a lot of our deals to real estate agents that we couldn't close, but they could close just because we had to get it at a discount. So we're more so looking for a commission, and we're fine because these hedge funds, they're not going to share the deal with us. I mean, they're going to put 60 million down hard cash, and they have their asset management. They have all the balance sheets, everything they need. They have 20, 30, 40 assets already. So they're not going to bring us in on the deal, but they're also not opposed at all to giving us a solid commission. So if we are able to pass along deals to them and they're able to close one, we're fine with taking that commission, which on some of these big properties, I mean, 60 million, even 100 million. I underwrote something at 500 million last week. That commission is no joke.
I'm not going to argue there.
Yeah, I'll add on to that. So from wholesaling, and we're both licensed, by the way, but from wholesaling, we would get a lead and we would fill up the pipeline. And we would say, how can we convert every single lead in every possible way. So whether that be wholesaling from a cash offer, whether that be subject to seller finance or passing it to a real estate agent, we wanted to get paid from every lead possible. So we've kind of taken that mindset into multifamily to say, hey, Harris is spending all these time underwriting deals and getting our deal flow. How can we make the most amount of money off the least amount of leads? And so obviously our first choice is say, okay, if this works for us, we underwrite it, the returns make sense, operationally it makes sense. Who can we bring this to partner for us? Not a large company, but an individual that, will allow us to be in the GP by bringing the deal and raising money and helping out in that sort of way. However, if the purchase price is going to be crazy, like it most of the time is in this market, can we still make money off of this, or at least provide value to somebody? So we've been building our network with people who know institutions and institutions themselves that we can pass along these deals to. So that's the second option.
No, that's
really,
awesome.
Really
Very
smart.
well thought out.
I like that you're not afraid to jump into the big stuff. If you're gonna sell something, you might as well have it be expensive. I'm curious.
Yeah.
Do you have interest in the smaller stuff too? Like, do you have any interest at all in the local duplexes you drive by every day?
We have the reason I'll speak for myself. The reason I have interest in the smaller assets is because I feel like we could put together a pretty solid direct to seller campaign. And that would be another avenue for us to get into something. However, like we have such big goals that, the duplex, and I've heard like people say start with duplexes, people say don't start with duplexes. Like there's obviously a divide. But I don't know, like 100, 150 units, like that's exciting. That's just so exciting to us, underwriting those big deals. Like we know if we do this for the next 10 years, we're going to do it. Like it's just a matter of time. So we're just getting good at, the big stuff. And I think another thing that goes along with that is just building the network, because what we found is, you can get in some rooms and, people invest in four units or 8 units, but that's a completely different game from investing in 150 units, and it's also a completely different network. So we've been trying to build our network that people can help us with the 150 units, with the 200 units, with the 100 units. But yeah, I mean, it excites, like real estate excites us. Like duplexes, like if I see a good deal on a duplex, I'm like, man, like that looks good. But yeah, we just try to put our head down and go in one direction. That's very difficult.
That's funny. You're just describing, real estate like it was a girl. I see I definitely see the passion in both of you, which I saw and heard when we originally met on Toastmasters at Jake and Gino. But
yeah,
that was great right there. Like, wow, that looks good. That I had to make mention of that. But that's what it's all about. You guys are doing everything necessary to reach those big goals for sure.
Yeah, and I think kind of going on that a little bit more, and Ethan touched on it a little bit, but it's really putting our energy in the right place and focusing our energy. So there's a lot of, you can make money so many different ways in real estate. You can make money
many different ways.
Literally too many different ways. And that's where a lot of people get caught up, because they're investing in duplexes, they're investing in Airbnbs, they're investing in you're trying to wholesale deals, they're trying to broker deals, they're trying to get multifamily. I could keep going on and on and on. And as soon as you start dividing up your energy, 15% here, 15 there, 15 there, you do nothing well. You just do everything okay. And we're trying to find that one thing where we can do that at an exceptional level, and we can take that to a level beyond anybody else in the industry right now. That's our ultimate goal, is just excellence. So it comes down to trying to make sure that we manage our energy right and putting our energy where ultimately we're going to see the biggest ROI on reaching our goal.
Yeah. And I'll add on to that as well. And I say this a lot. I say it to Harris all the time. I feel like the difference between going 90% and going 100%, that's not 10%, right? The difference between going 90% and 100%, it's a world of difference, because when you're in that mindset and you're going 100% at one thing, you have this subconscious that just brings you ideas, that just fuels you, and you just do everything better. So like I'll have weeks where I'm not completely focused on multifamily, right? It's like I'm going 85%, which is still, more than the average person. However, I'm not in that mindset of all day, every day, allowing these ideas to pop into my head. I'll like when I'm going 100%, I'll call Harris. I'm like, dude, or Harris will call me. He's like, man, I have a gym. And I'm like, I know he's grinding. Like ideas just pop up. So putting your energy to one thing is huge, because when you're always in that mindset, you're always looking for things in the world that can relate to your business. And that's been huge for us.
I'm really impressed by your guys' answers today. I feel like you need to go on a tour talking to high school seniors and just getting them in the mindset shift they need.
Yeah, I'm trying to reach out to I was in a real estate club in college, and I'm trying to reach out to them and talk to them, because it was crazy. I was in the audience, and we had a speaker, and it was a wholesaler, and I was so far like removed from, not removed from real estate, just removed from thinking that was possible back then. And I saw him, and he's like, he was in Texas, he moved out there, like he was doing really well. I was like, man, this dude's crazy. Like, does this even work? And so I feel like getting people, face to face with people our age, people who are actually doing the business and, aren't rich yet, but they're actually like making strides to get there. I feel like that's huge. Yeah, I'd love to go back to my high school or go back to my college and talk with people.
I promise this is more fun than Fortnite.
Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Ethan, what is that sign? What does that sign say in your background? I have to know.
Oh, this one?
Yeah.
It's a sign painted. So the top it's a glacier, and the top says, or above the water says success, and then below says hard work, persistence, late nights, rejections, sacrifices, discipline, criticism, doubts, failure, risks. So it basically, it tells a story of, hey, everybody sees the success on top of the water. They see, once you made it, this is what it looks like. But they don't see behind the scenes, like the work that you put in, literally the tears you put in, the blood, sweat, and tears, the late nights, the rejections, the doubts. Like this stuff is not easy. Like you see people like succeeding on social media, and you're like, oh my gosh, this person's an alien. Like, how are they doing all this? Like, but they don't see like there are some serious doubts, and there are some serious rough weeks that pass by, and it's really the people that get through that, and people who have the support system to help them get through that I feel like, make it long term.
Yeah, and just to add on that, I think the support system is so important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't think I would be where I am today if it wasn't for the support system. I can't speak for Ethan, but I would probably say he's in the same boat. Surrounding yourself with like-minded people is so important, because when you're feeling down or you're starting to have that doubt that, hey, maybe this isn't for me, you have that person that can look at you and lift you up, can say, hey man, honestly, you're probably just in a slump this week. Like, it's possible, and I'm going to push you to go even further than you ever would have thought. So it's surrounding yourself with the right people. And I think social media is a big thing right now that's hurting a lot of people, because it's, and I'm going to preface this by saying it hurts people, but it also helps people a lot. Yeah. So it's hurting a lot of people because a lot of kids, at least our age and still maybe getting out of college, they're not seeing any of that positive motivation. All they're seeing is just pictures of people, doing things that, or looking better than them, or just doing something better than them. And it's kind of pushing them down. But the way me and Ethan have kind of shifted our focus is by trying to follow and connect with people that are like-minded, and fill up your phone and fill up your computer with people that are going to push you to want to go further and go harder in whatever you're doing. And that's what's ultimately, at the end of the day, going to lift you out of that slump, or get you out of that bad day with that mindset of, hey, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep going.
And that person that gets you out of a slump, it could be a significant other, it could be a parent, but when it's someone that has the same goals that you have, man, that's powerful. Yeah, Bill, do you want to wrap this one up so these guys can go close some $200 million deals?
Absolutely. I am amazed by these. I was, but I'm so happy to have them here today because I didn't realize exactly what they were bringing to the table. Now I do. They say you need 3 of something to have a collection. So this is our collection of questions to wrap it up, guys. So why don't we just start with Ethan? You can knock 3 out, and then Harrison, you can go right after.
Let's get it.
All right, let's do it. Ethan, what are your 1 to 2 year business goals?
So in 1 to 2 years for business, I want to be branded as a capital raiser. So I'd love to raise $10 million in equity in the next 2 years. And I know that's a big goal. So that's my biggest goal, just because we've delegated the business. So that's on my side of the business. Personal goals, I just want to be happy. I want to be enjoying the process, enjoying the journey. I found it very difficult to be able to do that because, like Harris was mentioning, looking at all these successful people on social media, always feeling like you're falling behind. I want to learn to, enjoy the journey more.
Being happy, number 1. I agree. Last one. What can I, Steven, or the listeners do for you to add some value, and how can we contact you?
You can reach out to me on social media. So my Instagram is Ethan Neumann Official, or Facebook, LinkedIn, Ethan Neumann. I deleted my Instagram from my phone. My girlfriend is running it for me. So you won't reach me directly, but she will screenshot the DM and send it to me. And I'd love if we have a podcast coming out as well. So it's called the No BS Real Estate Show. It's not out yet, but it will come out in the next few weeks. So if anybody wants to listen to that, you can check us out.
Awesome. I'll be waiting. Harrison, what do you got?
Sure. So for that first question, similar to Ethan, I'm gonna have to say I want to be happier in 2 years. I mean, I'm happy right now, but I'd love to have more free time and be able to, have money to go on trips and not feel like I always have to be checking my phone. As well as I want to be kind of at a point in our company where we're known as closers. So we have brokers coming to us, bringing us deals, not just me calling them. Getting off market deals, really starting to make things shake and have that ball rolling. And that second question, what was that second question again?
The second question is your 1 to 2 year personal goal.
1 to 2 year personal goal. Okay. So I guess I would say it's that free time. Really. I mean, trying to be able to, I know it's tough, but want to be able to have that time to where I can spend with my family. I also want to definitely have gained probably 25 pounds of muscle. So I'm going to the gym now. So, I'm going every day. I want to be really in that motion, eating good food, really taking care of my body and my health. That's really important for me.
Physiology. Yeah, that is important. Absolutely. So how can we find you and how can we help you?
Sure. You can find me in a multiple of different ways. I'm very easy to reach. I'm on Instagram at Harris Trail, Facebook at Harris Trail, Twitter at Harris Trail. Easy as that. You guys could email me as well, harris@thevisioneergroup.com. And ultimately, in terms of people providing us value, like we mentioned earlier, I'm acquisitions. I'm always looking for deals and I'm always underwriting deals. So if anybody has a deal, and it doesn't have to be multifamily. I mean, if you're a single family realtor and you come across something commercial, shoot it my way. I can help you out with it. I can underwrite it for you, and I might be able to connect you either with us or I can connect you with an institution that might give you top dollar for it. So I'm here to help. Bring me deals.
No, that's beautiful. It was an amazing episode. You guys, are very impressive, and I'm going to be watching closely because, you guys are going to be doing some big things. So I appreciate everybody out there listening. Please hit the subscribe button. Give us a 5-star review if you enjoyed this episode. Thanks, you too. And we will certainly talk soon.
Thank you
Thank you
guys.
guys.